This week we're featuring Hessonite, 14 jokes. A 1965 nickel under the microscope cam because I couldn't find the $10 bill. And we're going to try and find it and feature that next week. And wall anchors on why'd I buy that. And with the lack of preparation in this show, there's bound to be some excitement. And why was the gardener so amiable? She grew pleasantries. Let's start the show. Nerds. I'm just playing them. Just playing the vid. It's only 7 minutes. Playing the whole video. You'll get both stones. The skinnier one is the one that you see half of up in the corner. Not this one. Hello, welcome to the program. What we have here is a frosty mug that's lost part of its frostiness. I can still see you through it. Cheers. So, note the picture. It's pretty dark. It's very opaque. And Benny, I'm glad you made it. Glad you were able to stop by. Glad I was able to start the show. That was a thing. So, let's see. We got the chat bot. Okay. Next streamer account first. Okay. Wrong click. There we go. Clicked. Then we clicked. Now we're clicked. Okay. Now we have the chat bot working. So this I was hopeful. And we'll get a better look at it under the microscope cam. I was hopeful that this would actually turn out to be a pretty light colored gem. Mostly just black. It's just a black opaque piece of dark And it's not even like black. It's more like it's kind of like a dirty orange. I don't know. Kind of like a burnt lozenge. But, look at that. See, that's not a burnt lozenge. What's going on there? It's backlit. So that's what's got me thinking. If I mount this on, you know, a piece of silver, so that the silver will get the light to bounce up through it, it actually might show off the color of the stone without me cutting more out of it. Because watch this. Spin it, dark. Spin it around, face out. It's pretty much just black. You turn it, you get a little bit of light, but nope. It's just dark. Boom. Dark. So there's no real benefit to the actual, like, refraction facets, keeping the light inside of it, because it stays so dark. I've got to bell it out to get some light inside of there. I was thinking about making it thinner. Maybe it's not done yet. Maybe there's somebody that wants it. Maybe there's somebody who's interested in this particular piece. You can kind of see what I'm talking about, right? I was like, okay, we're going to saw it down the middle, and we'll have two pieces, and we do. The other one is here. It's still here. Still doing its thingmotron. And it's almost like it's a different color. See that? What kind of nonsense is that? It wants to be a good colored gem. It's just not fully there. What's the deal, Motron? Do we need to put like a window in it? See, that's the color I wanted to get out of it. But I can't get that color to flare through the table. It's just too dark. And I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of big chunks of stuff, but there are bubbles and splays, and it is kind of opaque. We'll get a better look at it under the microscope cam. And this one too. This one too. We'll get a look at with the flashing light. But we'll keep it as a steady light instead of making it flash. I thought about cutting this one, but I didn't have the time to get... Well, it doesn't help, does it? I didn't have the time to get into it. So yeah, that's this one. It's got color too. It's kind of a reddier color than compared to the orangey or yellowish color. Hey, Crystal Shaman's here. How's it going? Hey, everyone. Where the heck is everyone? Stuffed from Mother Day. Laughing out loud. Hope you like my song, Benny. It was inspired by your comment. Domini. Hey. Yes, exactly. So, Crystal Shaman, I've got some things to show to you on the microscope portion of the program, so let's go ahead and get to that while I talk about vacuums. I thought vacuums would be an interesting topic because of a couple reasons. One, I don't really have anything more interesting to talk about. Sold. But wait, there's more. I watched that well, I didn't really watch it. I kind of watched to that Tim Hunkin documentary on the secret life of the vacuum. I was like, I know about vacuums. Let's get into the saw footage. Wait a minute. There's one more early footage. How long is it? 4 seconds. Glad we played that. Let's get into the saw footage, shall we? I know about vacuums. They're basic. But I thought, alright, this guy looks pretty cool. We'll give it a listen watch. And actually, it was an enjoyable little documentary. But one thing about the documentary that he didn't mention is something that I learned about vacuums later on in life. And I remember thinking it was a very interesting fact about a vacuum roller. Doesn't actually comb the dirt out of the carpet. And the idea with the roller is that it gently tussles the fibers while the friction bound dirt works its way loose. So the idea is, because early on the rugs were very expensive and you didn't want to spend a whole lot replacing your carpet. Nowadays, wall to wall rugs, baby. There's the soft footage. Had to take a minute. Gonna turn that down. Jeanette Korzenko made it. All right. Well, yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Crystal Shaman, because there are different types of vacuum systems. There are permanent suction and there are ventilation style vacuum systems. And then, there's vacuum pumps, which gets into different styles of pumps. But basically, it was about vacuum cleaners. Okay, so microscope portion. But it had me thinking about, okay, let's make sure you guys can see this. I'm hoping this is a little bit better saw video, because I took this with better lighting. This has better lighting. But it had me thinking about vacuums, And it had me thinking about, like, designing for the customer. Because for me, I'm a guy. I want to use the tool however I want to use the tool. And, it takes me back to, the brushes are meant to just, you raise the vacuum up and down to fit your carpet style. So it just lightly touches them and doesn't wear the carpet down. But, to any guy who's Tim Taylored their vacuum cleaner by stepping on the front of it, really bogging that thing down, trying to get them brushes in there deep, and then like, what is that, a piece of wire? And you pick it up and you look at it, and I'm not going to go over there to throw it in the garbage can. The vacuum cleaner is a garbage can in itself. I'm going to throw it in that garbage can because it's right there. Ooh, we're going to pop it, aren't we? I think I did. I got it most of the way, because the idea is that with the gem, if it's going to have this kind of a shape, if I saw here and then pop it, I can keep a little bit more right here instead of having the whole curve along that saw portion. But I don't think I wanted to break. This is garnet. This is really strong stuff. And I tried to cut it along a cleavage plane, but yeah, look at that. It did not want to snap. I remember that in particular. I couldn't even break it by hand. Tiny little thing, stronger than steel. And there's my steel knife. Just a little bit of leverage. Yeah, it did pop though. I like that. I'm glad that worked out. This gem does not have a home yet. I got a few gems that don't have a home yet. Speaking of home, where is the home for the microscope portion of the screen program? Desktop. We are going to the part where, let's see, okay. Found the camera. Took a little bit. Had a little sidetrack. I was like, okay, so why am I so lucid on panel, but not during my live stream? And I think it's distraction. Part of it's distraction. I'm trying to keep the show going. Part of it's the numerous problems that have buzzed me over the years. I'm like, bzz, 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 and I'm like, what does that mean? I'm trying to talk about like when I have audio problems or video problems or stream rate problems. And so I kind of also have distraction problems where I see comments that Jeanette Korsenko leaves. I also have reading problems. All of that kind of, contributes to my overall lack of appearance of cogency. And that should have beeped. Okay, there we go. Beep. Meep. Beep. Meepy beep. Okay, we're trying to straighten it out. Oh yeah, we turned the light off, didn't we? Zing. There's the light. Blam. Now we got some light. Oh yeah, yeah. Crystal Shaman. Actually, there's someone who left a comment on one of my live streams. I think by the name of Crystal Shaman, who I was talking with about the whole crew of like 8 or 10 people to produce the show. That's what I need. Or, you know, just keep doing it myself. That's fun enough. Or funny enough. So notice on the back there's these guys. I wasn't quite sure about these. They're so deep. I mean, they really go in there. And I was afraid that I was going to be cutting just way too much material out. And I kind of tried to keep this angle, and I started running out of space right here. So I kind of kept it thin. Let's look at it with some light underneath. Maybe I can side light it. 8 or 10 people. Oh, yep, that's what I figure. Benny, you know, like a $400,000, $800,000 production budget. That's what we need. Just some, you know, help with the show. Okay. Someone to run the camera. Make sure we stay focused. Someone with a decent brain. Make sure I stay focused. Ha ha. Zing. Alright, that is almost way too bright. Okay. Actually, that's kind of cool. So it does kind of show the level of bubbles that are inside this, which is part of the reason that it's so opaque. It just scatters all that light. But the thing is, see the black spots? There's no real big spots inside of it. It has good color, and it has a level of clarity. It has this little bit of character down in the corner, which I like. I like it when there's a little bit of character in the right area of the stone. And see those bottom areas? Oh man, they are almost out of there, but not, I mean, almost, but almost not, you know? Like here, maybe you can kind of see on that one in the middle how much deeper it is as I turn it. To go down, I mean, I could, but it's on the back side, unless I want to make that the front side. I'm not sure. I don't know. This is only the second piece of Hessonite I've ever actually, quote unquote, finished. And we've got some more. I got some Hessonite that we need to work on, but I think we need to also work on that that other half of it, because I think they actually kind of need to go together. Hi, recouping from a very dab. You blushed. I did, probably. That'll show up on the camera. 8 or 10 peoples, or, you know, 8 or 10 peeps, because the sugar from all those peeps would make me fast enough to be focused and lucid and cogent. Right. Exactly. So, Crystal Shaman was wondering about blue Morganite, which is also known as Aquamarine, or blue emerald, you know, blue beryl crystal. So, I have these 4 pieces of Aquamarine that are kind of like that Morganite. And so we'll get through those as I play the next little portion of GemVid. Is it this one? Or the next one? That one. Yep. That's what it looks like after I cut it off of the saw. Okay, where are we at? There we are, we at. So we have this piece of Morganite, which has a nice blue. Not a lot of clarity, but if you put a flashlight on it, it might shine a little bit of something through. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, it shines up in there a little bit. And then there's this one, which is a little more feldspar-y looking because of the cubicularness. And the fuzzoliness that's on it. And it actually passes light through it like a piece of snow. And this one's kind of a cloudier piece, but it has some clarity to it. Yeah, look at that. But I'm not real into the color of it. It's not as good of a color, but it's still aquamarine. And here's a piece with some nice deeper blues down in there. Haven't gotten into any of it. This is a really heavy piece. This piece weighs a lot. The other ones are actually a little bit lighter. Maybe it's because of the sheer size of it. Or maybe there's something to do with the crystal style. It's a tighter crystal. Maybe it's a bit of a polymorph of the aquamarine, making it heavier. Not a lot of light passing through it. Oop, there we go. But a little bit. Nice big piece. And then I also have this. Aquamarine Chips. I hope you can see some of that. Blam! Which I've actually been trying to facet a couple of these to feature. It's such a hard stone. It is. Oh, let me focus. Focus cam, focus cam. Focus cam 1, focus cam 2. Production on the floor. Alright, that kind of gives you an idea of the different colors that come in the aquamarine chips that I got. And they have nice clarity in some of them. So I've been working a couple of them to try and feature them on the show. But I haven't actually finished anything. I think I actually did show one, but it wasn't one of these. It was actually something I bought from Vicki, and it's not even completely straight. I mean, like my paradots are straight, but this aquamarine's hard stuff, so it's hard to... And I just lost it in the pile of aquamarine. There. See, it's not even really straight, and it's not even done, because I didn't work that cleave out. I need to go a little deeper on that one, which means I need to go a little more on the other side. And then in the back, I didn't work out that chip. And I didn't work out this chip over here on this edge. So this gem isn't even technically done. But it's got that nice 45 on the back, which really gives the aquamarine flair. So I leave it as is. And, you know, we'll get to faceting some of this aquamarine chippage. I got as much of that aquamarine chip as I could while it was available. And it's not available anymore. But like some of it is a little bit bigger. It's just really thin. Like here, this will show you a good example of the outside of the crystal. I just noticed this. So the barrel crystal grows tall, right? Let me focus in a little bit. The barrel crystal grows tall, and you can see the striations of it growing upward. But it also cleaves flat, which shows you all those cracks across it. So this is actually the outside of a small aquamarine crystal. And then there's also like this piece here, which this one will show you the clear glassiness straight up and down. But then if I turn it, you can get the blue that people desire. So if I was going to facet it, that's the size that it would be. Or it's just going to be a big piece of, you know, neat, but basically that's the color of it. And, you know, bigger pieces, but still smaller stuff to work with. So I keep thinking, you know, once I get the faceter going, I might get into that a little bit more. Really wanted to show the $10 bill. Can't remember what I did with it. I'm going to show you a coin of some kind. Let's see. There you go. This is a 1965 nickel. Got this in my change the other day. Yesterday. Yesterday was the other day. Today was a day, and yesterday was the other day. So there we go. 1965 nickel. It's got a lot of wear. Let's see if we can get a little bit on the depth of the wear of the date on the coin. I'll put it right up on the microscope. Blank. Clunk. Oh, a little too much. Look at that. You can see the stamping. A little bit of the fold in the 6 and the 9. The 69. Okay, so that's our microscope portion of the program. If I can focus in. There we go. Aquamarines and nickels. We're getting richer and richer every time, right? No chips. Nice, but I already have the Morganite beta. Thanks. Can you please send me pics of the 4 pieces of aquamarine so I can see them better? Beta equals beads. Got it. Beautiful still. Yes, tall and pretty though. Looks like ice. Oh, it is beautiful. Yeah, the chips are great. I really like the Morganite chips. But they're so small and there's so many cracks. Like they're so thin just to actually get something out of them. But that one of the things, Crystal Shaman, that I really like about these 4 pieces of aquamarine is that they're not treated. A lot of the aquamarine that my seller had was coated with a glaze. And actually, I'm going to have to grab that one out of the museum and bring it over here, and I'll show you. You can tell when it's got a glaze on it. It looks like it's wet all the time. Rocks are not wet. They look dry. You know, the crystals look wet in themselves, but they don't look moist, right? They look watery, but not actually wet. It's when they have water on them that they look weird. And we'll talk about that next time on the microscope portion of the program. So that leaves us with, why'd I buy that? Okay, we got 14 minutes of video left. For some reason, that's like a lot, isn't it? That's all the video we got left. And notice it looks like a house, but I actually wanted to get rid of those spots in the top. They just did not look right. If it's going to be dark like that and I can't see through it, it doesn't look done unless I get a nice, smooth, clean surface. Which is what I'm really happy about with the top side of it. It's a nice, smooth, clean surface. So if I get the right silver under it, it'll actually turn out like a nice little, you know, Hessonite colored cocktail gem. Plus, that was like the gem I had the most footage and I was the closest to being finished on. And I was really running out of time. Shiny glaze. I know, you know what I mean. Crystal Shaman knows exactly what I mean. That's what happens when you get a treated gem. And you get treated to a treated gem. Next week on the microscope portion. But right now we're talking about what I bought and why I buy that. This week, all I really have, and that's mostly because I forgot to take a picture, is toggle bolts, which are a type of wall anchor. And I wasn't even sure. I was like, what am I going to type? Wall anchors? Toggle bolts? We should probably do wall anchors, because when it comes to wall anchors, the only wall anchors I use are toggle bolts. And I also should probably have a close-up picture of a toggle bolt, or maybe actually an actual toggle bolt with me. That would be nice. Maybe I can pull one up. But a toggle bolt is the type of bolt that has the little wing thing that you spin, and it spins down, and we're gonna go toggle bolt. So there's the problem with toggle bolts, and the reason that they are not good is because you have to make a big old honkin' hole in the wall in order to be able to, bada bing, let's do the chest thing. Because we can do it with chess, right? Chess, gem, top, left, Chrome, Google Chrome. That makes sense. Toggle bolts, Dunmotron. So the toggle bolt is this thing right here. And that might be, are we there? Nope. Okay, right there like that. Okay, there we go. That is the toggle bolt. Now, this thing folds up, right? And then you make a hole, but it's got to be a huge hole. It's like half-inch size hole in the wall. It's not like you're putting a little nail hole in the wall. But you're going to hang it up there. You're going to make something permanent, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be permanent. And I'll teach you real quick how to hide a hole in drywall and hide it and hide it. This is what you do, is you put your drywall on and you sand it down, you feather it smooth, and when you got your drywall done, all that part done, then you have to match the paint with a primer and then the paint, because the primer makes the texture, the paint changes the color. And the primer, if you use like a sponge to dab, you'll get the roller look. Or you use the brush, feather it out. Don't just make it wet. Feather it out to where you're painting with the dry brush. And or a dry roller, and the roller is it's too dry to be painting. Keep going. It will feather that out so thin that after it dries, you won't even be able to tell. And that's how you hide it. So, in that sense, I can hide a toggle bolt, and I use toggle bolts, because all these other anchors that I've seen, all these wannabe, and I don't even know if you can see these ones along here that are not toggle bolts. Let's just look at wall anchor. These, I mean, I've dealt with them, and they'll work to hang a picture. But I've seen them not work. Like the way these are supposed to open up like that. I have pulled so many of them out of the wall that I see them not work, and I'm tired of dealing with it. So I stop using them. They don't work. Use toggle bolts. That's why I buy that. Why do you buy that? And for reference, like, notice what we're looking at here. We're not really looking at something that's appetizing. It's organized by colors, and the colors are usually brands. So I can tell the different brands are in different places, and I can tell different styles of anchors by different brands. Mostly, I'm gonna be going for the big bag of toggle bolts in the bins down below because they're affordableest. Ain't none special, ain't none cheap. They're not trying to sell me nothing. They ain't throwing a bid in to sweeten the pot. It's just an economic bag of ain't never failed me wrong. And here's another. I'll give you one more problem that people have with toggle bolts, is that you have to bend the thing and poke it in the wall, and then it opens up, and you're like, oh man, I forgot to put the shelf on before I poke it. So you got to unscrew the thing, and then the toggle bolt part falls down in the wall, and you're like, oh. But they're cheap. They're cheap. They're like 50 cents, which, I mean, is not really cheap, but at the same time, it's affordable enough. You can just get yourself another one. It's not like you're paying $6 for each fastener. So, in that sense, those are toggle bolts. They work for me. They work well. Never had them go wrong, and that's why I buy that. 2 Amy knee choices. Exactly, Benny. There's a thing called decision fatigue. I feel that a lot. That's why I started why I buy that. There are so many questions I have when I buy things, and I don't understand it. I actually asked a friend of mine, and he's been on the show before, and in the chats before. Actually, he was on panel when we were having party panels way back in the day, before Streamlat yards and all that. Uh, I was talking to him in the store. I was like, okay, which one of these would you buy? And he was like, I don't know, this one maybe. And I was like, well, why would you pick? And he started getting frustrated with himself, trying to understand why he would pick that one over the other one. And I have the same moment, so that's why I'm trying to understand why I buy that. It wasn't about color. I knew what I wanted. I went there and I bought the big bag specifically because I knew I would use them over time. And I got a deal on them, and I was happy about it. And that's how I buy that. And that's why I buy that. Thanks for joining me on Why I Buy That. Which leads us into where we are. Yeah, we are almost done with this gem. Toggle boats are good for heavy things, I guess. Yes, toggle bolts. Actually, Crystal Shaman, that's interesting too. I want to say toggle bolts are good for like 800 pounds, maybe. They're the highest rated anchor, but they also make the most damage to the wall. But at the same time, it's like it's not that big of a deal, right? Sort of like how it's not that big of a deal during the gem portion of the program. So, let's see. The jokes I have this week aren't that great. I think they're getting more difficult to write because I'm becoming an adult. I'm an adult. I know for a fact that I'm an adult because I wear adult diapers. You know, I've also had trouble counting. I can count to 10. Got that covered. But when I tried counting to 20, I got mathlete's foot. I think there's a better way to knock that joke out. Getting better. Maybe in 10 or 20 years I might actually be funny. Which reminds me, when opportunity knocks, it knocks me down a notch. Boom. That reminds me of speed holes, speed holes that make the car go faster. That had me thinking about the next thing will probably be the wax job. Ping, pang, wang, dong. Oh, sounds like he's finishing up the wax job right now. Wang, tink, plang, pong, tang. Wax job, right? Makes too much. Moving on. If a machine helps you get ready for bed, is it your robe bot? Thank you, robe bot. That's just too much awesomeness. Don't make too many enemies because you never know who's going to win the lottery. If Spider-Man starts a broadcast, would that mean he's radioactive? An old joke for your Spider-Man fans. I love the joke portion. I love it when you guys make it to the joke portion. It makes me feel like $1 million before taxes. Let's see. Okay, a couple more. Okay, I'm dying over here. And I don't even have any Corona jokes this week. Why couldn't the cheating cricket player sleep? 'Cause there's no rest for the wicket. I think I told that one on Benny's show. It was too good to keep. Let's see. Why was the gardener so amiable? She grew pleasant trees. Why did the booger stick to the hanky? It wanted to hank around. To see this week's joke portion of the program. And next week, I'm hoping I'll have better jokes. A couple of jokes this week, right? We had a couple of them. But mostly it's just me getting through that portion to get to the chess portion. Okay, gotta move the chess portion back a little bit. Blink. There we go. Okay, let's get chess. Let's get to chessin'. Bam. Are we covered? Okay. Wait a minute. This way. That way. Where's the rest of the gems for you to watch? And this one was almost done. Okay. Oop, gotta turn it down so we don't blast our ears. Alright, we're gonna play a game of chess, and I am not very lucid, so it's gonna be fast. Me losing fastly. Okay. Moving that one. Moving this one. That one. And that one. And this one. And what's he doing? Waiting? What are you waiting for? Oh, his phone must have canceled out. Or something? There we go. Should have done that earlier. I don't have a plan. I gotta come up with a plan while I'm waiting. Gotta come up with a plan. His phone must have canceled. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Got a plan. Got a plan, got a plan, got a plan, got a plan. And hey, actually I won. Wow, we won. Okay, great. Let's do an analysis and see why we actually won. I think maybe they were doing a live stream too, and they were going through the I'm not sure portion of the program as well. Okay, so wait. Okay, when I moved my knight up, that was a bad move. And then moving that pawn up was a worse move. And where did I start winning? Where he made a mistake with the queen. I'm still not winning. Why am I not winning? The computer doesn't like me. Okay, so it was when he made a lot of blunders that it really helped and ran out of time. Alright, thank you, Sunilvskanu, for playing some chess live on the chess portion of the program during the Gemstone Show. It's always fun to hang out. It's always fun to have all y'all fun people come by. I'm glad you could make it this week for the short show, but, you know, it's always a little bit of fun, and it's always classier when you're here. And if you can't be here, maybe you can be here next week, or every week. You know, in the evening-ish, when I try to do the show. And maybe I'll see y'all next week. Oh, Crystal, sorry, I forgot. This is a little PS to the show. Uh, let's see, the Hessonite. If you watch the show, earlier in the show, there's a saw portion, and actually there was a bunch of inclusion down the middle of the Hessonite, and I cut down all the inclusion, which you can kind of see. That's the backside. That's the part that I was talking about on the microscope portion that I was trying to grind low enough to get rid of, and I cut down that to split it, or well, I cut down that, and it happened to be that I split it to try and finish it. And we'll get into the other piece on one of the upcoming Gemstone shows. See you guys. Have a great week.